You're watching LMCC.
Hi, I'm Kellie Murphy-Ringate, Fire Marshal and Public Educator for the Excelsior Fire District, and welcome to First Responder TV, your public safety source, featuring training exercises, safety tips, and much more. Here's what's coming up on First Responder TV. Mike Lindstrom from Lindstrom Restoration shows us the damage caused by a fire in a home in a neighborhood just like yours. The South Lake Minnetonka Police Department are answering your questions every Thursday on making a difference. We spotlight the top 10 fireworks safety tips. Scam Alert will give you an update on scams that have been targeting citizens in the lake area. I'm standing at the end of a driveway of a home that just recently had a fire. Normally, the people that live in the home are standing at the end of the driveway with me, watching the firefighters fight the fire. The intent of today's segment, After the Fire, is to motivate you, our viewers, to know more about fire prevention so you can prevent this tragedy from happening in your home. Now, firefighters fight fires, but fire educators have to fight complacency. People think, this isn't going to happen to me. It's never going to happen in my neighborhood. This will happen to other people. They tell themselves, the fire station's across the street, fire hydrant's just down the road. I know a firefighter on the block. This stuff will not prevent a fire in your home. You have to know about fire prevention. Do you know how your fire department operates? Is it full-time? Is it paid on call? Is it volunteer? How do they respond to fires? When the fire district has a fire and we deem it's safe for people to go back in, I try to prepare the people that live there for what they're going to see when they walk in. The images they have in their head, and most people have in their head, are usually from TV and movies, and that's just not reality. Usually they're devastated, overwhelmed, and shocked by what they see. Let's go check it out. Here we are inside with Mike Lindstrom from Lindstrom Restoration, and today we are going to show you what a house looks like after a fire.
Absolutely, it's good to be here, Kelly.
So let's talk about where we're standing and what we're looking at.
Yeah, well, we're here inside the entryway to the home. It's a split level, kind of built between 1978 and 1980. And we see this a lot where there's some lines here and marks with the soot. And what are we looking at, Kelly?
So a lot of people don't realize that in a fire, the hot, black, icky smoke goes up. When you're sitting at a campfire or in front of your fireplace, that fire goes up into the sky, it goes up into the chimney. And it's not usually hot, black, icky smoke because you're burning wood. But when you're in a home and you have fire, all the contents are creating this soot, this blackness that goes up and fills the room up. And what you're looking here is at the soot, how it's coming down. Now, this line here where the drippings are is where the firefighters came in with their fire hose, hit that hot, black, icky smoke, and steam was created, which is causing the dripping marks that you see here. But down below you see this clearer space. This is when we talk about crawling low under smoke, because this is where the cool, clean air that's in the room remains, and that's how you can get out safely. So it's cool down here and almost up to 1,500 degrees up here.
So I'm 6'2", and if I was in this home during this fire, basically the smoke would be here at my hips.
Yeah, but you would be crawling low.
I'd be crawling low.
That's why we crawl low under the smoke.
Sure.
So we can get out and stay out.
Okay, Kelly, so here we are in the kitchen. You know, what are some top 3 things that homeowners and citizens in the area should be worried about with fire? And then also, what are some things that basically everybody could do in their own kitchen, in their own home to either, put out a fire or prevent a fire?
Okay, so the top causes of home fires in the state of Minnesota are cooking, open flame, and heating. So let's talk about cooking fires. Most of the cooking fires in Minnesota occur on top of the stovetop. And it's because people are walking away from the stovetop. We call it unattended cooking. And for whatever reason, they're answering the door.
Their kids.
Checking on the kids, going to see why the dog's barking, ordering wreaths from the scouts. For some reason, they're walking out of the kitchen. We've actually even had people that have been standing in their kitchen, texting, social mediaing, doing something, and the fire actually occurs right before them. So a lot of people, when they come in and they see a pot on fire on the stove, because they've, been at the door talking to the neighbor.
Sure, we're going to get some water over here, right?
Right. And we've been taught our whole lives, put water on fire.
Sure.
So when we're in a panic situation, what are we going to do? We're going to panic and go, I've got to put water on this. Well, you can't do that on a stovetop, because you could be cooking bratwurst, frying French fries, making hamburgers. So what you want to do is take the lid of the pan, okay? And you actually want to treat that like a shield to protect yourself from that flame, and you just want to slowly slide the lid over and turn off the heat source. Now we tell people you want to leave it, overnight or till that next evening. You just want to leave it on the stovetop for an extended amount of time, because it will flare back up if you take the lid off. Now, if you don't have a lid, grab that baking dish, put it over. Grab that cookie sheet or pizza pan, put it over. Turn off that heat. It's as simple as that. Now, when it comes to open flame, most of those are candles that are unattended or put in the wrong place. So I tell people, treat your candle like a toddler. Would you leave a toddler alone in a room? No, you shouldn't leave a candle alone in a room. You should blow it out before you leave. And also, it can't be around curtains, underneath cupboards. Sure. It's got to be somewhere where that flame, that heat from that flame isn't going to spread and start a fire. And then the other one is heating. And that can be because you haven't had your fireplace checked or inspected, which you should do on a regular basis, or they're putting their space heaters too close to combustibles like couches, beds, curtains.
Sure, 3 feet or more, right?
Yeah, 3 feet or more. Very good. Yeah, so that's the three things that we want people to pay attention to so they can prevent this tragedy from happening in their home.
Okay, Kelly, so here we are in the hallway. We're just outside the kitchen. The entryway is over there. And I believe the fire came through the window in this bedroom and then worked its way down the home this way. So we're seeing ceilings are down, there's holes in the wall here. Kind of what happened here? Was this from the fire or is this from something else?
Okay, so after the firefighters come in and put out the fire, we still have to make sure it hasn't spread. So what you're looking at is firefighters have to pull ceilings to make sure it didn't get into the attic. Behind you, we had to pull the wall apart to make sure it's not in the walls. And even when you look at the door trim and the trim on the doors, we usually have to pull that off to make sure the fire didn't get behind the trim or get anywhere.
Okay.
So that's why the insulation's on the floor. And what people don't realize that even if the fire's out, we still have to come and look for it, make sure it hasn't spread, and then we have to use water for hot spots. So we're bringing even more water into the home. Now, we talked a little bit about fire behavior and how the hot black icky smoke comes to the top and comes down. And in this hallway, you can see, here's our soot, and here's that cool, clean air still down here. You can see where it remained clear. Now, fire spreads by heat, not necessarily flames. Flames can stay in the room, but it's the heat in the black, icky smoke that spreads through the home, and it's the heat that spreads the fire. All you need is the hole the size of a pencil to spread that heat and cause that fire to spread. That's why firefighters have to pull walls and ceilings.
All right, Kelly, so as we head down the hallway, I just want to point out, this door here is this example of all the doors we have in the house, and this is a hollow core door.
Yes.
Right, nothing special. It's basically a couple layers of wood and a little bit of cardboard in the center for structure, right? So, and here it is.
Yep, and what we're looking at is, again, that hot black icky smoke was up here, that heat. And it took, it damaged the top part of the door, but if you look down, again, this is where we crawl low. This is where there's no damage. It stayed cool down here.
Okay, as we go down, this would have been their office. And the fire got into this room through the window, as I remember correctly. And you can see they have the same hollow core door here, but it's been consumed all the way down.
Right, because the fire came from this direction, so there was more hot, black, icky smoke, and of course, more of the door is gone.
Okay. Yeah. And as we continue down, we get towards the primary bedroom of the home, and this also had a hollow core door that was open. You can see your lines here as well. And this is where I think the fire first got into the house, basically. And there's a really interesting closet door at the end of this room.
Yes, and again, most of the door's gone. So now let's look in the closet. This door was closed during the fire. Now we walk inside, we can see. You can tell that that's an ironing board. You can tell that there's clothing here. You can see a walker. You can see a speaker. Right here was a wardrobe. Clothes were hanging in this portable wardrobe. You can't even tell what some of this stuff is. A closed door will keep that hot, black, icky smoke out of a room for 10 to 20 minutes. So that's why we tell people we want them to close when they doze. So before you go to sleep at night, we want you to close that door. Or before you go on vacation, walk through your house and close all those doors, because this is going to protect that room. It's going to prevent fire spread from going in the rooms. It's breathable air, it's cool. You can survive in this room for a long period of time. Once I bring the people that lived in the home back into the home and show them around, they are, again, they're devastated, and they don't realize that the extent of the damage and how much stuff is actually covered with this black oily film, and they want to take things home with them. They you know, the kids want to grab a stuffed animal, they want to grab a hat, they want to grab a piece of clothing, they want to take something home with them, but everything has that oily film that I'll talk more about, and it has that smell. And just something this size, you bring it to your hotel room, you bring it to where you're staying overnight, and it will smell up the whole living space. It'll make everything smell.
Sure. Well, and the other thing that we see here a lot, and we have a thing over here, is we've got canned foods, we've got, you know, peanuts and things like that. I mean, they're all sealed. This may still even have the little vacuum seal on it. We'll say medications and things like that as well, but you shouldn't be taking those things, consuming them, cleaning them off, and you know, bringing them with you, because, you know, the heat and the smoke, it's toxic, right?
Right. So when that hot, black, icky smoke goes up, it is hot, very hot, and it's black and it's toxic, and it banks down. What people don't realize, our daily lives are full of things made out of petroleum. The paint on the walls, the wallpaper, our clothing, basically everything we use have some kind of petroleum base in them. And it's okay when it's in normal conditions, but when it's heated up, it burns, and it burns this and creates this oily film, this almost soot that you can feel in your hand, and that covers everything. And people also don't realize that this soot is cancerous. There's carcinogens in this. There's different things that are toxic that you can't breathe. And that's why it's so important you get out and stay out in under 3 minutes. And that's what you see, this coating of all this stuff is toxic. That's why Mike and I are wearing gloves.
Sure. So even if you could clean it, you shouldn't. Don't even risk it.
Because it was also probably heated up.
Okay, Kelly, so here we are back in the entryway, right? This is where the family had their way to get out of the home. So we've learned a few things today, right? We've learned about a single hollow core door can save your life. It can prevent and buy you some time and things like that. What are some of the more finer points about, you know, early warning and notifying your family about a fire that may be going on? I know when I was a kid, I was told I had, you know, 7 to 10 minutes to get out of the home if I heard the fire alarm go off, things like that. You know, we all learned stop, drop, and roll. You know, what are some of the things that have changed that we need to know about?
Well, the big change has been it's no longer 7 to 10 minutes. It's 3 minutes to get out. And that has a lot to do with, again, the things we talked about, how the contents of our home are not really natural fibers anymore, like wool and cotton. We're dealing with a lot of petroleum products that burn a lot hotter and burn a lot faster. And different homes, newer homes, are made out of different construction, and that construction fails a lot sooner. And it's not that your new home isn't good and solid, but under fire conditions, that changes. So we tell people they have to be out in 3 minutes. And the only way you can get out in 3 minutes is to have early warning and to practice. So early warning means having a smoke alarm. Now, right now I have a carbon monoxide alarm in my hand, but you want to have smoke alarms, and you want to have them in the right places. So you want to have them on every level of the home, outside sleeping areas and inside sleeping areas, and areas where people sleep. People don't realize if Grandpa falls asleep in the living room every night, that's an area where people sleep, and you have to have a working smoke alarm there. That means buy one with a 10-year lithium battery and make sure you test it once a month to make sure it is still working. Then you also want to practice your plan. Now, your kids in school, do they practice a fire drill?
They do.
Yeah, and I bet your kids can come home and tell you exactly. They lined up at the door, where their meeting place is, the hallway they walked down, and they probably can tell you that the whole school got evacuated in 3 minutes. Well, if a whole school can practice and evacuate in 3 minutes, so can anybody in a home, but you've got to practice your plan.
Absolutely.
So we have to practice. Families have to practice their plans. Now, schools do it five times a year Families should actually be doing it once a month. And again, you have your smoke alarms that will warn you. You can get out in that 3 minutes. So you won't have to find your second way out. You won't have to worry about being behind a closed door and having an atmosphere that you can live in until you can get out another way. So that's how you make sure your family can get out, stay out, and be out in 3 minutes.
That's fast.
It is.
That is really fast. What is the average response time then for a fire department or a volunteer fire department in your community? Is it that 3 minutes?
Well, so we tell people that they have to be out in the driveway or outside of their house watching the fire department actually arrive. They should be out by the time that the fire department arrives. Now, you and I, growing up, the fire department came in a lot of time and was able to rescue people because you had 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but that's not the case now. You should actually be outside before that fire department arrives, regardless if they're full-time, paid on call, or volunteer.
Okay, Kelly, so here we are down in the garage of the house, and this is below both bedrooms, and this is where the fire started. So currently the source of the fire is a little bit undetermined, but basically, everything in this room was completely consumed, and because there was a fire door right where we're looking right here, was pretty much stopped right there.
The fire door did its job.
Fire door did its job, right? That's why there's codes. And then it had to work its way out and up.
And that's how it got inside.
And one of the homeowners here was actually behind that door sleeping and heard some crackling and things like that. Woke him up, didn't think much of it, went back to bed, and then smoke alarm went off.
Oh, okay.
Woke him up, got everybody, I think, out upstairs, and then had to wait for the fire department to arrive.
Yes, and I believe that the fire upstairs came from down here and went through the window, and that's how it got upstairs.
Yep, that's correct. Came out the garage door, up, and broke the windows, and then worked its way through.
And as people can see, there's nothing salvageable in this room, and usually that's what happens in the room of origin, as we call it, is there's nothing salvageable. And the flames did spread upstairs, but the rest of the house that we saw really didn't have flames. It was all from that hot, black, icky smoke spreading.
Yeah, and this is, this garage has a lot of, kind of your usual, we'll say kind of man cave kind of thing. We've got motorcycles, we've got all kinds of stuff in here. This could be anyone's home, anyone's garage.
Anyone's garage.
And this was just a typical Tuesday night kind of thing.
Yep.
And ended up changing their life for forever.
Forever. This will be a pivotal moment in their family history.
Yeah.
So if people want more information about fire prevention, go to your local fire department or go to the State Fire Marshal's website and get more information. And at this point, I would like to thank you for taking time today to walk us through this house so people can see what a house actually looks like after a fire and not the Hollywood version of it. And I want to also thank the homeowner for letting us come into his house and film all of this. Because
Absolutely.
he, like us, his intention was to make sure that this does not happen to someone else, so people understand how devastating a fire can be. Because we are actually standing here months after this fire occurred.
It is.
And he will not be back in his home for probably
months more.
Months more. Yep. So he's living out of a hotel. So please be proactive about fire prevention. Prevent the fire from happening in the first place. Know how to react by practicing a plan. And make sure that you have working smoke alarms in the right locations.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Mike.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Welcome back to First Responder TV. We like to spotlight a member of the community that goes above and beyond in our segment, Making a Difference. This month, it's South Lake Minnetonka Police Department's new social media tradition, Thursday Questions.
Just started my position here today. Looking forward to serving all of you in 2022, and feel free to reach out to me anytime if you need anything.
It started in January when I started here as the chief. I really wanted to increase the social media presence. I know the importance of reaching out to the community before. We need their assistance, and I want to be very transparent, and that was the purpose. It was for us to reach out to them, show the good work that we're doing, the hard work that my officers are doing, and for them to have an avenue of direct communication with us.
If you see something or something seems out of place, give us a call. That's what we're here for. We're happy to come out and check things out.
We started with simple ones, crime prevention tips, how not to become a victim of a phone scam or computer scam.
Don't share any information with them personally. If they ask too many questions, it's probably not a good idea. I'd back out of the deal.
And then we expanded to the process of if you get arrested for driving under the influence.
Come on up. And basically, they're just going to provide 2 breath samples, and that way we'll capture the alcohol contents.
We also went as far as during celebrations, how to make sure you have a ride, for example, St. Patrick's Day.
We will be having extra patrols on the roadways looking for impaired drivers, and the best thing you can do is to plan ahead. Plan a sober driver, plan to take a cab.
We even did one for an accident. Hey, we're out working an accident on Highway 7. Please be careful. It's black ice out there. So it's immediate communication to our residents.
Today I'd like to offer a few helpful tips that can reduce the likelihood of becoming a victim of theft or burglary. Number 1, if you park your car outside, ensure the doors are locked.
So it's not only the Thursday question, it is our crime reports. It is all the work from the weekends, the arrests, to show the residents of the communities that crime has no borders, that actually crime is here. And we've had great feedback.
With efforts from the homeowner, our officers, and some quick thinking, we made an arrest of a first-degree burglar. I'm very proud of my officers, the homeowner, and everybody involved.
You know, it always is hard for us to communicate with the community when we're driving around in squad cars. But this is a great opportunity for them to jump on their phone and ask us a question.
What equipment do you carry on your vest and on your duty belt?
We'll start with my vest. On the vest, we got the taser, 2 extra magazines for my firearm, extra pair of cuffs.
I'm really asking the communities to jump on, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and having that, hey, I saw that, I like that, or hey, good job getting that gun off the street. You know, that not only helps the community feel safer that we're out there doing the job, but it also makes the officers feel valued, that they're out there risking their lives, responding to calls, and if they see that feedback, every one of my officers follow the Facebook page and they follow the Instagram. So it's a gratification and a thank you for the officers.
I'm lucky to be able to work for the South Lake Minnetonka Police Department because we do have the support of the community. We are part of this community and we love this community.
They can jump on our Facebook page and ask a question. They can go to our common email and ask a question.
I just wanted to take a second and say thank you to all of our residents who've been doing an awesome job closing their garage doors and keeping their vehicles secured overnight.
I started where there was no social media, and I know how important it is to have that connection with the community and having that community reach out back to us, not just when they're a victim of a crime or when they need our help. I want them to reach out to us all the time.
When we come back, we'll give you an update on scams that have been targeting citizens in the lake area. But first, the top 10 fireworks safety tips to remember this summer.
It wouldn't feel like summer without a colorful fireworks display. However, the thrill of fireworks can be dangerous. Here are the top 10 fireworks safety tips to follow while setting them off at home. Make sure fireworks are legal to light off in your area, and never buy or use illegal fireworks. When lighting a firework, never stand directly over it or hold it in your hand, and never go back to a lit firework if it fails to go off. Always point fireworks away from people, homes, trees, and other easily flammable materials, and never light more than one at a time. Always keep a water bucket or garden hose close by in case of a fire or other mishap. Never allow children to play with or ignite fireworks, and keep them out of reach when not being used. Older children should use them only under close adult supervision. Responsible adults do not use fireworks while impaired by alcohol or drugs. Never carry fireworks in your pocket. Don't shoot them off from or place inside metal or glass containers. Never light fireworks indoors, and don't try to alter or make your own fireworks. Avoid buying fireworks that are packaged in brown paper. This is often a sign that the fireworks were made for professional displays. These type of powerful fireworks could pose a danger to consumers. Soak both spent and unused fireworks in water for a few hours before discarding. And remember, sparklers burn at temperatures of about 2,000 degrees, so children must be supervised by an adult at all times when using them.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
A grandma scam is where the scam artist pretends to be a grandchild in trouble and in urgent need of money. Several older people in the Twin Cities have fallen victim when they received a phone call from what they thought was their college-aged granddaughter claiming to need $18,000 because of a car accident she caused. The victims withdrew the money and gave it to a man they were told was a courier who showed up at their door. Police also intercepted an additional $25,000 the scammers asked people to ship. Police advised people to hang up and call a family member directly to confirm whether there is an emergency before withdrawing any money. Anyone who may have fallen victim or has an older family member who might have should contact their local police department. Identity thieves are using stolen social security numbers to file for unemployment benefits in other people's names. If you believe you've been a victim of this kind of unemployment fraud, you need to take steps to protect your financial identity and credit history. First, file a report with your local police department and contact your employer's Human Resources Department to document the incident. Next, contact the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development at 651-259-7114. Stay organized. Keep a file folder or journal with information from the incident and your reports. Tell the credit bureaus a fraudulent unemployment claim was made using your identity and have them issue a fraud alert. You should check your credit activity at least once a year. If you're a victim of identity theft, you have the right to check it monthly. Contact the Federal Trade Commission and the Internal Revenue Service. File a report with the FTC and give them the case numbers from your local police report. Someone calls and says they're from the IRS and you owe taxes and need to pay right away by getting a gift card at the store. This is a scam. Government agencies will never make you pay with a gift card. In another version, the caller claims to be from a tech support company. He says he needs to fix a problem with your computer, but only after you pay him with a gift card. This is also a scam. Real tech support companies don't make you pay with a gift card. Gift cards are for gifts, not for payments. Anyone who tells you to pay with a gift card is a scammer. Once you've shared the gift card number and PIN, your money is gone. If you have paid with a gift card, contact the company that issued the card right away. Reporting to the company and the Federal Trade Commission helps to fight these scams. To learn more about how to protect yourself and others, go to www.ftc.gov.
Thanks for watching First Responder TV, your public safety source. If you have an idea for a segment or an upcoming public safety or fire prevention event, please let us know. This is Kellie Murphy-Ringate giving you information you can use, share, and to live by. See you next time.